Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me here today. If you're new, I'm Amanda. Welcome to the channel where we are all about shattering the mental health stigma. If you haven't already, make sure you make sweet, sweet love to that subscribe button. Give the bell a few kisses so you're not missing any of these reactions, my vlogs about my mental health journey, celebrity interviews about theirs, or any of the other goodies we are adding to the channel pertaining to mental health. Today's reaction is a request from Ron Young, my amazing Patreon. Thank you so much for your love and support. Guys, if you haven't had a chance to check out my Patreon, make sure to do so. Link is in the description. You get priority song requests, you get to jump on multiple live streams, hang out with me every month. You get an exclusive sneak peek at the upcoming reactions for my channel, exclusive reactions that I only do for my Patreons, personalized stuff, behind the scenes stuff, and so much more. So make sure to check that out. Every single dime goes toward my mental health outreach projects. But today Ron has asked me to react to Sober by Tool. And I know I've heard of Tool before, but I couldn't name a song. But I do know that I believe it's the lead singer's name is Maynard because that was my dad's middle name. And I remember having that correlation when my close friends pointed out to me when I was younger. So I know there's a Maynard in the band, but that's about all I know about Tool. So I am excited to dive into Sober by Tool. Claymation. Okay, I'll rewind there, but I want to touch on a few things there. I think that this is from the perspective of the addict of whatever substance. I'm not getting a vibe for a particular substance, but the addict of whatever substance. The substance can be like a stalker. Addiction can be like a stalker, and being someone that has dealt with being stalked before, which is terrifying, by the way, it destroys your self-esteem. You live in constant fear, and it just consumes your life. When I was being stalked, it consumed my life because I was constantly wondering what was going to happen next, what kind of crisis was going to outbreak the next day or that day, and it was just living in constant fear. So it was very terrifying. So the shadow behind me, to me, references the addiction, how it stalks you. And you've heard me talk on this channel before, well, if you're new, you haven't, but about my own shadow, and the shadow did push me toward addiction. And it kind of reminds me of Dexter and his dark passenger, that it's always there and it's always whispering at you, and it can be very hard to overcome. But I also wanted to touch on the Jesus won't you whistle part, because I feel like a lot of the times the addict keeps repeating the same past excuses, the same promises, the same complaints, and everyone around them is at the point where they're saying, Jesus Christ, stop this. Stop repeating the same thing over and over and over. But it can also be perceived as begging God for a sign. Jesus, please, like, send me a sign, whistle, something, anything at all. So there's a couple ways that I perceived that. But yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting so far, is just how addiction is relentless.
trust in me and fall as well. I will find a center in you. I will chew it up and leave. I will work to elevate you, just enough to bring it down. Mother Mary wants to whisper something, but the past is done. Mother Mary wants to whisper something, but the past is done. Why can't we not be sober?
I actually just want to touch on that lyric for a split second, that why can't we be sober, just want to start over. That's the internal battle in the head. Why can't we not be sober? So there was the double negative there where it's, why can't I do this? Why can't I give in to these urges? And I'm kind of getting the vibe that this person is finding some kind of value in their addiction, in their substance, whether it's a coping mechanism like a lot of us, or perhaps artistic drive, something like that, but they're finding value in it. And it's that internal battle of, but this is doing something for me, but I don't want to be this person. Why can't I start over? So why can't we not be sober, but why can't I start over? There's that internal battle in the head.
Just a worthless liar. I am just an imbecile. I will only complicate you. Trust in me and fall as well. I will find a center in you. I will chew it up and leave. Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me. Why can't we not be sober? Just want to start things over. Why can't we sleep forever? I just want to start this over.
Oh my. I want what I want just tells me that they're not ready to quit. They're not ready for the next step. They're not ready to get sober. In my opinion, that's how I took the end of it. And that's tragic, so it doesn't really have a happy ending, but addiction and life often does not. The first part was from the perspective of the addict themselves, but the part where they were saying, I'm a worthless liar, I'm an imbecile, I'll only complicate you, I take that as being from the perspective of the substance itself. And it does. It's a false friend. It'll tell you all these pretty things and pretend to be your friend for a while, but it is a liar. It will lie to you. It will bring you to your knees. And I think that having that perspective from the drug itself in that way was really creative, because most of the time we we have the narrative from the substance talking about, "Ooh, come here, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna help you," but it seems more self-aware in this sense. It's going to complicate you. It'll work to elevate you. It'll bring you up, but then it will drop you down, like the elevating chair. Then it'll drop you down and abandon you. And that's what addiction does. We utilize these things to cope in the moment, whatever your substance of choice is. We utilize these things to cope in the moment, but in the end, they'll drop you. In the end, they'll leave you. In the end, they will let you down and they'll break you. And the claymation of this video definitely added to the creep factor, but let's be real, addiction's not pretty. Alcoholism, whatever the case is, isn't pretty. But I think that there's a much deeper message where it's saying, trust in me. And I think we have to trust in ourselves above the substance, above a relationship, above religion, above all these other things. We always put our trust in all these other things, and we need to learn to trust in ourselves because others will lead us down the wrong path in some way. And I'm not saying that religion's going to lead you down the wrong path, but I do think that you have to trust in yourself before you can know what to trust in externally. That's a message that I think might have kind of gotten lost there a little bit, but I think that addicts almost always make excuses that they're more creative, they are able to cope easier, they're better to be around when they're high. They've convinced themselves of this. And while, there has been a lot of books or songs or whatever written with people under the influence, that doesn't mean that they couldn't have done that without the substance. You can cope without a substance, no matter what that substance tells you. You can tap into creativity without it, no matter what it tells you, because it will tell you all the pretty things for a while, unless it's the one in the song and is self-aware, but that's not going to happen. I've never known an addict to have a self-aware addiction like that. For the most part, it's the addiction is telling you to give in because it's going to save you and protect you and help you, but your voice, which is still there, is telling you I don't want this anymore. So I really liked like I said, the part where it's saying, why can't we not be sober? I like that double negative because there is this constant argument in your head of, well, it's giving me this. Why can't I do it? Other people just don't understand versus the part of you that knows you don't want to be that person. You don't want to continue down that path because you know where it leads. You've been there who knows how many times. You know what's going to happen in the end. So I think that is really powerful to be able to express that like that. I think there was a lot of imagery in the video that was powerful. The grasping for what you can't see, the dark hallways, reaching down the dark hallways, like I said, the chair, levitating. There was a lot of powerful imagery that really spoke to me as a recovered addict. I thought it was very telling and very accurate to some of the things that I felt or some of the things that went on in my brain. So what is your story? That is the most important part here, is sharing your mental health or your addiction story here in the comments. It's how we shatter the stigma around these things, is by talking about them, building each other up, understanding where other people are coming from, even though their journey might not match ours, even though their ideals might not match ours. Share your story here in the comments. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it. You never know who might need to see it. And I love you guys so much. Thank you, Ron, for a lovely suggestion. Mwah!